In this video, we're going to talk about Article 110.14, Electrical Connections. This section of the National Electrical Code is about proper handling of electrical connections, specifically how to connect wires and terminals safely. So why does this rule exist in the first place? Well, different types of metals like copper, aluminum, or their combinations can behave differently when they are connected. For example, copper and aluminum expand and contract at different rates when they heat up or cool down, and they also have different levels of conductivity, how well they carry electrical current. If these metals are connected improperly, you can end up with loose connections because of the metals expanding and contracting at different rates, corrosion due to certain metals reacting with each other, especially when they're exposed to moisture or air, and overheating if the connection doesn't allow electricity to flow freely. All this can be dangerous because it could lead to equipment failure, short circuits, and even fires. Now let's look into what's covered in this article. The first thing that's covered is different metals in a connection. If you're connecting different metals like copper and aluminum, or copper and aluminum clad copper, they should not touch directly unless the connector is specifically made for this type of connection. This ensures the connection is safe and stable. Example: if you use a connector that is meant only for copper wires and you try to use it for aluminum wires, it could cause problems because of the different physical properties of the metals. Another thing that's covered is using the right connectors. The terminals or connectors, the parts that connect the wires, should be chosen and installed correctly for the specific wire you are using. For example, if the wire is made of finely stranded wire, meaning the wire is made of many small strands of metal, the connector must be designed for that type of wire. Another thing that's covered is materials for soldering. Soldering, which is a method of joining wires by melting a material or solder, must be done with materials that won't harm the wires. The flux, which is what helps the solder flow, and the solder itself need to be suitable for the type of wire and the environment. Some materials could damage the wire over time, so using the right products is crucial. As an example, let's say you are working on an electrical circuit at home. You have two different wires. One is copper and the other is aluminum. You can't just twist these wires together using a regular connector, because the copper and aluminum react differently with heat and moisture. If you use the wrong type of connector, like one made just for copper, it could cause a loose connection or even a fire hazard. To prevent this, you should use a connector that is specifically designed for copper to aluminum connections. It will keep the wires secure, prevent corrosion, and help the electricity flow safely. To sum it all up, in simple terms, Article 110.14 tells us that when connecting electrical wires, especially if they are made from different materials like copper and aluminum, we need to use the right connectors that are designed for such a specific job. Using the wrong type of connector or materials can lead to dangerous electrical issues. Always choose connectors that match the type of wire and follow the manufacturer's instructions for the installation.